We're back and talking a little politics with David Dulio, Denise Illich, and Barry Raby. And so, David, you have your Civic Engagement Center, which Oakland launched, what, a year and a half ago? And you also are bringing in speakers, including you have Poland's former president, Lech Walesa, coming in.
Correct. November 15th. It's a Friday evening, free and open to the public. There's information available at oakland.edu for anybody that wants to attend. Former President Walesa will be on campus about a week after the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. So great timing for us to have, as Time Magazine put it, one of the top 100 influential people of the last century.
Why a Civic Engagement Center? Why is that important?
Well, as we talked a little bit earlier, the state of our politics is arguably at a low point right now. And what we want to do at the Center for Civic Engagement is have Oakland University become known as a convener of conversations about important public issues. And that can happen in a variety of ways, whether it's hosting speakers like Lech Walesa, having candidate debates, having town hall meetings with elected public officials, panel discussions about important issues. It really runs the gamut.
Yeah.
I would also say, too, that another focus is civic literacy, to try to improve that not only on campus but off.
That's great.
It's an important thing here. Yeah. Speaking of debates, University of Michigan made huge news recently when it was awarded one of the presidential debates in next year's 2020 election here. I assume you'll be involved in some way in that?
I don't think I'll be on stage or anywhere near it, but we're very excited about this. As you know, there's been an evolution in thinking about how we conduct a presidential debate. It used to be in television studios like this, Nixon-Kennedy. It has since moved more toward universities, but generally the academic institutions that have hosted them have been small and private. So we will become the first Big Ten university to host one of these, and it'll be the next to last debate before the November election, about a year from now.
Yeah, finally put Michigan on the map here on it. But before, I want to also just quickly touch on Lansing, what's going on there with the budget woes with Governor Whitmer and the Republican leaders up there, and with roads and money still needed for that. And Dee, I know we're all sitting here grinding our teeth watching this process here. Do you think we're going to come to a resolve on this?
I mean, I'd like to think so. It's really disappointing to me when everyone knows we have serious issues with our roads. And the fact that with the experience up in Lansing that we can't come to some kind of solution is just very disappointing.
Yeah, how do you see it, David?
The same way. I think the public is demanding. They're not just asking for it. They are demanding action on this. And I think they're getting to a point where they're really fed up with the inaction that's happened on the issue of roads and the inability to find a proper solution.
How do you see that shaking out, though, with the marketplace here? You have these leaders up there, and the public and electorate are very upset about this. We all see what's going on with the roads, a lot of Band-Aids being put down to fix things, yet the big monies that are needed still are not necessarily coming in. How do you see that? Finally, will we get more monies eventually, do you think, for the roads?
I think eventually, but I think it's likely to be piecemeal.
Yeah.
And it's always difficult when you're playing catch-up on any policy issue, but especially infrastructure.
Yeah.
The longer you wait, the more expensive it becomes, and then the harder to impose a cost on someone to pay for it.
Yeah. It's like a house. If you don't maintain it properly, you end up paying at the end. So it's a good point.
And as the whole country has this problem, infrastructure is aging, bridges, roads, everything here. But another election that took place, which we didn't hear that much about, was the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau won. And I know you were following that closely, Barry. His Liberal Party retained power, but it sounds like he's part of the minority government here now.
The complications of politics Canada style. It's a country that actually has a lot better infrastructure, certainly in Ontario, than in Michigan. There was a national election. Imagine this, a 40-day election process. 40 days from beginning to end. Quick transition. Indeed, Justin Trudeau, current Prime Minister, in effect has been reelected, but did not get a parliamentary majority, and so now has to play let's make a deal with one or more other parties, and yet the expectation is he will stay on as Prime Minister.
Yeah. As the impact here in Michigan, because Canada is our largest trading partner, as we know, lots of monies are put forth down there. Do you see that impacting things as far as what we're seeing here in Detroit and Michigan?
Absolutely. The role of Canada, the role of Ontario just looms large in this economy, whether it's the Gordie Howe Bridge, broader kinds of trade issues, the future of a post-NAFTA agreement, energy issues. It just goes on and on. And so this becomes a very important election for us to watch, especially after a period where there has been considerable strain between the federal governments in the U.S. and Canada over the last couple of years after really decades of very, very close partnership.
It seems like that the Canadian government's having more luck dealing with the local governments, trying to do something federally. And how do you see it, David?
Sure. I think the election in Canada gives us a window on the way Canadian politics works. And that's also something that your viewers should probably pay attention to, right? It's a lesson in how other governments work. I think that Canada and the United States, strong allies without a doubt, important trading partners, and I think with a little bit of stability from the Trudeau re-election, we hopefully see more of that continue.
When it comes to the election here in this country, we're still a year away technically from the presidential election here, and there's a lot of other elections locally here in the state that will be taking place. Does this help inspire people to become more civically engaged, or they get more turned off by this saying, no more, I don't want to hear this anymore? What do you think, Dee?
Well, I think right now, I think people are fatigued. I think that it's not only the election, but the constant drama that goes on around our leaders and what's happening right now. So I'd like to think people would be excited and fresh, and I love that you have a literacy aspect to the center. But I think it's fatigue now.
Real quickly?
And that's not going to stop, right? Impeachment is going to continue for the foreseeable future. Folks might want to break from politics and from all the drama. I don't think they're going to get it.
Yes, no? Inspire? Uninspired?
I think there are opportunities to engage and reach out, in part because of centers like Dave's involved in, some of the things we're trying to do in Ann Arbor, not just for younger people, but broader communities to come together and really think about this in a constructive way.
There's so much more to say. We're out of time here. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. We hope to see you next Sunday for more Michigan Matters.